How many of you believe there was no pandemic at all? Well, you'd be right, according to ex-Pfizer executive Dr. Michael Yaden. Again, these aren't my words, although I agree with him. Just to be clear, YouTube censors, these are the words of an ex-Pfizer executive who says there was no pandemic at all. Dr. Michael Yaden. Now, he says there's no pandemic, and the lie was maintained in order to inject 5.5 billion people with what he says was an intentionally dangerous substance, 17 million of whom have died so far, he says, after having received it. Watch.
There has not been a pandemic. Dennis Rancourt's data shows that the all-cause mortality evidence data did not increase at all in the run-up to the declaration, fraudulently, by WHO of a pandemic. There is no public health emergency except that created by our governments. A inappropriate, fraudulent PCR test was used to give people the impression that they had a particular disease where they didn't. There were all the normal diseases. And then what happened was, in 3 different ways, people were treated badly through changed medical procedures that were imposed above the level of nation, briefly, mass ventilation of people inappropriately in hospitals that led to lots of deaths. In care homes, many people were given sedatives and respiratory depressants, which led to their deaths. My PhD was specifically in that area of opiates and respiratory depression. And in the community, people were denied life-saving antibiotics and died of bacterial pneumonia. There's your pandemic. There is no other pandemic. And based on this lie, we were told that vaccines were coming our way and would be our savior. 2 things. As I say, first, there's no pandemic, so you certainly don't need an experimental, rushed medical intervention. But secondly, even if you did, as someone who's worked in the industry for over 30 years, I am telling you, it's absolutely impossible to invent, test, clinically evaluate, and manufacture and then launch on global scale a complex biomedical product. It's absolutely impossible. It's not as close. It's years wrong. The fastest record prior to this was 6 years. And friends of mine who've worked all their lives in manufacturing of complex biological products tell me the methods development alone for the development of a reproducible manufacturing process itself takes a number of years. So whatever it is you think was done, I am telling you, there was not the development of a proper medical product. What I think happened was the advancement of materials that are intentionally toxic, and then they were sketchily advanced and jammed into people's arms, often coerced, sometimes even mandated, with the unsurprising effect that millions of people have died. So I think having heard what I've just said, that there was no pandemic and the lie was maintained in order to inject people en masse, I think 5.5 billion people, with an intentionally dangerous substance, 17 million of whom have died so far.
Now, of course, Yaden in many quarters is a hero, speaking out about this for years. But now we have all of the sort of cumulative data to look back on this. And he's vindicated on this. Of course, he was vilified. Yaden was early in warning about these shots. And the mainstream media like Reuters at the time, which of course has direct ties to British intelligence, was slamming the doctor, calling him basically a kook for warning people. I just want to read a portion of this Reuters hit piece on Dr. Yaden. Here it is, the ex-Pfizer scientist who became an anti-vax hero. Goes on to take him to task and keep every paragraph is like, which has been proven wrong, which has been proven wrong. They're all lies, of course, because in fact he was vindicated. Here's just one example of their lies. Let me just kind of scroll here. So, let's go back. Sorry, go back. Yeah. In recent runs, Yaden, pronounced Yaden, has emerged as an unlikely hero of the soul. Oh, shoot. I guess it ran out. Sorry. I should have got the screenshot instead of the scrolling of it. I apologize. Anyway, You can read the piece for yourself. It's just a total hit piece on him. There was a coordinated effort in 2021, of course, to discredit Dr. Yaden with all kinds of fact-checking websites jumping on to say how great the COVID shots were, how dangerous Dr. Yaden's claims were. Here's just one example. This fact check debunked claims by an ex-Pfizer employee about COVID-19. They just call him an employee. Talk about him being an executive, like a scientist. He's just an employee. He's just some guy in the mailroom about COVID-19 vaccines.
He was a vaccine maker.
Exactly. He's just an employee.
If I recall correctly, one of the inventors of mRNA, wasn't he?
I don't know if he was one of the of Robert Malone. I'm not sure if he was. I don't know. I have to look that up, to be honest with you.
Okay, put a pause on that. That might be Natalie's memory.
But anyway, here in one of the things it talks about the children, they go through like a number of claims he's made. Claim number 4, COVID-19 is not a threat or fatal to anyone below the age of 60. Okay. Like many before him, Yaden has also suggested that the risk of COVID-19 is overplayed because it primarily affects older people. But this claim is false, according to the fact checkers. COVID-19 is a risk to people of all ages, and the virus has killed young people. Really?
Well, actually, statistical data has proven him right, that people under 30 only died with COVID due to pre-existing conditions by and large. It's the numbers are overwhelming, and we've presented those studies here. So history proved him right.
And so Miss Stacy in the chat says, even the Pfizer CEO said he did not get his own COVID vaccine. That's all you need to know is like the CEO of Pfizer refused to get his own shot. That's all you need to know. Anyway, no pandemic at all, according to him.
This is something Dan Cohen on Uncaptured Media has had interviews with virologists as well, talking about how the likelihood of a virus spreading like this naturally across the globe. So look up that as well, because Dan Cohen is very much on this as well and has done some great research in addition to Dr. Yaden.
So fact-checking in real time, David says, no, Michael Yaden and Robert Malone did not work together to create the initial mRNA technology.
I got it wrong.
Sono, who was a former vice president and chief scientist at Pfizer. He was by the way, yes, he was the allergy and respiratory researcher at Pfizer. So he was in charge of the respiratory and research center. Literally in charge of it's a respiratory virus? That's your guy. And he's telling you there's no pandemic. Okay.
I misspoke. I shall go in a closet and flog myself later. I apologize. No, I'm not asking you to participate.